My husband's 30 meters, driving is dangerous. I am posting here today out of sheer desperation. I am at my wit's end with my husband's driving and don't know what to do. Over the years, he has always been a dangerous, reckless driver. He scares me frequently, but it's his driving when he is alone that has me worried. He has gotten 6 speeding tickets in the past 2 years, all to and from work, 50 meters one-way trip, and a ticket for an unsafe lane change. His license is suspended and he has an occupational license for now. As you can imagine, this has cost us a fortune, both in tickets and insurance. He is super aggressive on the road, and feels other drivers are the problem. We use a GPS family locator app which includes driver insights, and he tops out at over 100+ mph 9/10 times when he is behind the wheel alone. I'm thankful he isn't as crazy of a driver with myself or our child in the car. Regardless, feel it's unacceptable. Not only is he completely disregarding the added expenses this is creating, I am genuinely scared he is going to eventually die in a fiery car crash. It feels like he has no disregard for his life. We have a 3-year-old and another on the way, and the reality of the situation is starting to set in. I know I can easily not get in the vehicle with him, but how can I influence him to slow down when driving alone? I love this man and have spent 7 years building a life together, but it feels as if his driving habits have only gotten worse with age. He is far from perfect, has a temper, and hard to talk to about stuff like this. Without him resorting to "you aren't my mom, stop nagging me." He's a good dad and I don't particularly want to leave, but without change feel it's inevitable. I want him to understand that his decisions impact our entire family, not just him. I also feel it's unfair that I constantly have to worry if today is the day he didn't make it to work safely. Is it possible to get this message across, or is this a losing battle? Too long didn't read. Husband drives way too fast, costs us a fortune, but refuses to slow down. Wife scared for his life. How can I influence change? Go get a life insurance policy now. Unfortunately, you are probably going to see it pay out sooner rather than later. At this point, it is unlikely he will change. Legal trouble hasn't given him second thought, financial penalty hasn't given him second thought, you probably won't either. Make sure you know where everything is. Make sure you know how to log in and pay your mortgage. Make sure you know how to pay the health insurance. Make sure you know where the titles to the cars are. Make sure you know where the bank accounts are. Go get a life insurance policy now. Unfortunately, you are probably going to see it pay out sooner rather than later. Disability insurance, too. A non-fatal accident might be worse financially than if he actually dies. If he didn't learn his lesson when he lost his license, I doubt he'll learn now. He's reckless and stupid. You can't fix that. He has to pull his head out of his ass on his own. Therapy could help with that, but only as much as he wants it to work. Edit. Honestly, just get this man a slow car or see if you can make it to where the car doesn't go over X speed. This is done on lots of company vehicles, but IDK how. This doesn't solve the problem, but maybe it can help. My dad went to anger management when his road rage/stress got out of control, and it was actually extremely helpful. Just a thought. Never mind killing himself. He could kill me, or my mom, my brother, or anyone reading this post. His behavior is not just your problem. It is illegal for a reason. This is inexcusable. He needs to change. However, he is probably addicted to the anger that induces this kind of driving. He's going to need to hit bottom and get professional help. So if I am hearing this properly, not only does he have severe issues with driving, he has general anger management issues as well. Long-time partner bought a home, treats me like a tenant. Too long didn't read. Long-time BF bought home, treats me like a tenant. Reminds me at every possibility that I'm living in his house. Says things like "don't come back to my house" in fights. I'm miserable and considering moving out. Need help. So a little background: my BF of almost 7 years bought a home recently, and at first, I was so excited that we get to start building a home together. My BF and I both make very good incomes, However, I deposit every single extra dollar I have towards my student loans. Hence when it came time to put down on a home, I was honestly only able to scrape up /10% of the down. My BF refused to take the money and said that unless I had 50% of the down, my name won't be on the deed whatsoever. I even offered to hire a lawyer to write up a contractual piece that outlined that I only owed X% of the home, the percent that I put in. My BF refused this, so come closing the house is his, and I'm annoyed because I've bought all the furniture in the home, a couple of grand on the couches, TVs, rugs, all the things that make the home a home, and he's starting to ask me to help pay for appliances and restoration costs. My BF has also stopped paying for any groceries and food because he says that he's housebroke, so I've been supporting us on that end for a month or two now. TBH, at this point, I have accepted my BF for the stingy person that he is and let all things slide. The thing that really bothers me is that he says things like, "Don't come to my house. You're being too loud in my house. You need my permission to paint this room XYZ, essentially treating me like a tenant. TBH, worse than a tenant, because no landlord has never said don't come to my house. Reddit, what do I do? Am I in the right to be very annoyed to the point where I want to find my own place? Note that I can easily rent another place myself, or even buy a cheaper smaller condo of my own. This landlord/tenant relationship is miserable to me and I really need advice. Thank you." Update: thank you Reddit for the outpour of support and advice. I knew in my heart that I cannot be in a relationship like this. For the time being I packed my bags and went to my parents. I texted BF to let him know that I am doing so, and he called me to ask why. He didn't really know why I was this upset. I told him that I'm staying with my parents for at least a couple of days and the reasons why I'm devastated. And that's about it. I want to talk to him in person in a couple of days, maybe weeks, considering moving out, getting my own apartment, etc. There's a lot for me to figure out. Again, thank you all. I think it's time to get your own place and take all your furniture to that place. I think this is a very clear sign that you two aren't compatible. You can't force him not to be selfish, it's who he is, and if he can't see past his own nose, there's nothing you can do about it, unless you want to keep letting things slide. Thanks for your input. I think this is very true. I can't change him and have forced myself to accept so much, but this house thing is too much. Well, you bought everything else, so take it with you. Find an apartment, put down the deposit and first month, hire a moving company, and when he's working, move out. Then let him know you're no longer living in his house. If there's too much furniture, he can buy it from you or you can sell it, but get your worth from it. Appliances for restoration, sell them. New dishwasher, Facebook Marketplace. Anyone who treats a long-term partner the way he's treated you needs a huge reality check, and that's how I do it. I would have suggested a come to Jesus talk, but I don't think in his case it would do anything. Think leaving and having him come home to see you reap what you sow empty home would be your best option here. He can discuss earning you back after you've lived alone for a while and realize you deserve to be treated like a person. And don't let him claim the furniture as his. He has no problem reminding you the house is his. You have every right to what you paid for. What a jackass he is. After 7 years, why doesn't he see you as his full partner? If I flat out owned a home and was able to move my partner in, I would be ecstatic that I could provide both of us a place to live and help our relationship progress. Instead, he treats all the stuff you buy as ours, but his house is mine. Does he want to be with you or not? Relationships are not transactions where you keep score of who owns what and hold it against each other. I think the way he's treating you as described in this post is super shitty and alienating. You're well within your rights to simply move out and take all your stuff with you. If you want to talk to him about this and how his behavior is off-putting, stingy, and downright mean, you can do that. You can tell him he makes you feel like you two have a business relationship and nothing more, and that's not how you want a relationship to be. If he thinks that a relationship is different, don't fall into the trap of thinking that leaving would be a waste of 7 years. Instead, it's saving all the years ahead of you when you could be happy instead of miserable. He says that he's house broke, so he bought a house he can't afford. I'm annoyed because I've bought all the furniture in the home. I do hope you plan to take all of the furniture you bought when you move out. BF eats all my food and never brings food, cooks or cleans, just plays video games and I'm losing my lady boner. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend's lazy and hasn't really contributed to shared responsibilities. It's been over a year and I'm just getting resentful and unattracted to him as a result. Hi, my 33F boyfriend, 31M, have been together for over a year at this point. We mostly hang out at my place because he has pets and I have allergies. So we mostly hang out at my place and he always talks about how much he hates grocery shopping, which I do too. But I've just been grocery shopping when we're not together. On nights when we are together I want them to be special. But he usually kind of just eats a lot of my food and plays video games with his friends. When we go to his house he continues to play video games and never gets food, so we always have to go grocery shopping whenever we stay at his place. I wouldn't usually complain, but it's been a year at this point and I realized that I'm just doing all of the grocery shopping and buying with my money, cooking and cleaning while he is just playing video games, and it kind of blows my mind that he's this comfortable not contributing to shared responsibilities. I've brought this up in the past and said that it's not fair that I have to buy the food, cook the food and clean, so he said he would clean, but he really only does it like 20% of the time. So I finally said something today and he was surprised but agreed. Him acting like this and not helping or manning up with stuff like helping so that he can just play stupid video games with his friends for over 25 hours a week is just like so unattractive to me, and I haven't wanted to fuck him in months and I'm starting to want to break up with him. I'm not really sure what the next steps are. We are having a conversation tomorrow, but I don't want to be resentful about this anymore. I want him to like do stuff. Any advice? What are some practical clear ways of dividing household responsibilities or paying expectations? I always pay whenever we go out to dinner because I make 20% more. But I just kind of feel like he's very lazily taking advantage of me and I don't like it. Update: thank you all so much for your thoughtful responses to my situation. I really appreciate you validating that this is an issue, because for a while I was like, some people are losing their husbands to cancer and I'm just mad he doesn't help around the house or with food, and I both afraid bringing this up would seem trivial. I'm having a conversation with him in a couple of hours and I'll let you know how it goes. Is it okay to show him this post and the response so he gets it? I also wrapped up his computer and put it in a box regardless of whether or not we can fix things. I don't want him playing video games in my apartment. He has deprioritized me countless times over playing video games and I don't want it in my apartment anymore. Thanks again. What are you getting out of this relationship? Serious question. This is so easy, but most guys will never get it. Get home a few hours before my wife does. I have dinner ready. I like to cook and am good at it. The laundry done and the main areas cleaned by the time she gets home. If you time it, you can do it at the same time. It takes an hour per day at most. She comes home, walks a clean pathway to the dining room and we have dinner. Guys, this solves so many marriage issues, trust me. We have a winner. If he wanted to do it, he would. Girl, I was going to write you a script on how to address him, but halfway though I deleted it. You're both in your 30s. He's old enough to know better and he's not going to change. Go find a man who contributes, wants to spend quality time with you, and actually gives a damn. Unprompted / someone you don't have to try to teach how to be caring. Stop wasting time with this guy trying to change him. Go find the man you wish he was. Don't have a conversation trying to get him to step up. If he had it in him, he'd be doing it already without you asking. Honestly, that talk tomorrow should be to let him know you're bored out of your mind, going broke, and have no sexual interest in this relationship anymore. Therefore, it's over now. Boy, bye. Done and done. I wouldn't even do it in person. He's never lifted a finger for you. Why should you bother? Some people do deserve an in-person breakup, but he does not sound like it. Don't try and be friends or any of that ridiculous shit. Don't take his Hail Mary attempt at winning you back for a week and then going right back to his same old shit. You gave him warnings already. Too little, too late. He sucks. Accept it and move on. By 31 he should have had plenty of time to figure out basic adult skills. Video games aren't bad on their own. but neglecting basic things so he can play is not so good. Honestly, you don't seem like a top priority to him. By this point you probably feel a bit like his mom. You can try pushing him, but that's only got you 20% so far. You can keep pushing him, hoping he will eventually turn into a fully functioning adult without any resentment on either side. Or you can go look for someone else who has already learned these basic adult skills on their own. Everyone is telling you to talk to him, but I'm going to give you a different opinion. Cut him off and move on. Don't bother trying to explain or negotiate. Just go. It's one thing for a person to do something small that they don't realize is unhelpful or unfair, but this dude literally hasn't lifted a finger to help you with cooking or cleaning and ignores you when you guys hang out. If he's truly too dumb and clueless to realize he's being an unhelpful slob, then he's got the intelligence of a potato. If he's not, then he's doing it despite knowing it's wrong. Take your pick. Neither of them sound too appetizing to me.